Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is Aldo, and we're back with another episode of Full Kit No Plan with my boy Jesse. How you doing, bro? It's been a while. I know we catch up, but man, this closeout to this fourth quarter has been crazy, and we barely had time to like catch up. So, we get our 5 minutes here and there, but today's the day, bro. What's up? How you doing?
Yeah, man. Good, good. I'm glad to see you, bro. It has. It's been a little bit. A lot of shit going on, holidays and everything. So it gets crazy this time of year, right? So it's good to be back and kind of catching up and getting ready for the next year.
Dude, so, before we went live and started recording, we were just talking about our holidays. Hopefully, everybody had an amazing 2025 Thanksgiving if you celebrate that. If you don't, I hope you had some time away from work. Or if you're running your business, hopefully you made some time to carve out to be with your friends and family and the loved ones, because it's important to have that balance. We have these conversations, about working hard and being disciplined and chasing your dreams, but you can't do that if you're not taking care of yourself. So remember to have some balance, love yourself, take care of yourself, because this is what this show is all about. We're talking about giving back to you. And part of that is making sure that we're doing all right, so we can give you the best version of ourselves. So, I took some time. I went to California. I ran the beach like I usually do. Had an amazing time. Heard the ocean waves crashing, the smell of the ocean, them seagulls chirping up there. It was nice. I felt good. I was telling my boy Jesse though there was a little downside, but I'm gonna leave it to later as we get into it. But I definitely enjoyed the food. I enjoyed spending time with my family, with my kids, with my loved ones, seeing my nieces and nephew, doing things that a few years I wasn't doing, right. But every day is an opportunity to be a little different, a little better, and that's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to be a better son, a better uncle, and a better brother. So it was a great time with family. How was yours, bro?
Man, it was good. It was really good to catch up. You said discipline and working hard and all this stuff that we talk about all the time. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, what do we do it for? Right. I mean, sure, it's fame and glory and all the good stuff, but it's for family, bro. It's to have that time to sit back and watch the kids do, crazy things and make those memories and just eat food, being able to eat good food in this economy is a fucking blessing. It really is, so I'm just dude, this whole week, I've just been in awe of everything. I've just been really looking at how far I've come. I mean, go back episodes and you'll see how where I once was, and so to just be able to sit there and enjoy the simple shit, man, sweet potato pie and some turkey and just watch the family run around and make memories together, bro. It was something to be grateful for. It was amazing for sure.
Absolutely. And it's crazy. Uh, someone asked me yesterday, what was I thinking? Um, and I was like, oh, I'm just thinking about the future. I'm thinking a couple quarters down, being in business or just being in work or just planning my future, right? And so then I was told, "Oh, so you don't live in the present?" And I said, "No, no, no, no. I think down the road, and I reverse engineer stuff, but there's no way I am not grateful for this very second right now. Just talking to my boy, my brother, and being here in front of you guys because I do appreciate every second, every breath I get. Every time I'm able to open my eyes in the morning, I'm grateful. The first thing I do is give my gratefulness and being vocal about it. Um, you know, like many of us, we were put in harm's way. We're fortunate to be here because we have a story to tell. We got a journey to share with others, and it was a conversation of having like, no, like, yeah, I think down the road, but believe me, I'm here right now. Every minute, every second of it, I'm enjoying it, and it's oozing in through my body. Because I wouldn't be able to think about the future if I didn't acknowledge the now and took in the now. And sometimes those conversations, can get overlooked or can get a little misconstrued, right? You're thinking about the future and the whole nine, but when you have children, you got family, and I can't speak for ladies, but as a man, being protector and provider, that's just us, who we are, what we do. we tend to look down the road, bro. I don't know about you, but like I tend to try to look down the road, see how I can better position myself, or I work my pace plan. Everybody should know the pace plan. And have your primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency plan set in place because you never know, right? So you always want to just be prepared, but definitely, definitely, definitely don't let today pass you by. It's important. So I
For
just wanted
sure.
to share that.
Yeah, no, I love that, dude. That's so true. Trying to that's a skill in and of itself, right? Trying to balance the present and the future with also the past, right? And it's understanding each one of them. The past is a memory that we use to project into the future. And trying to stay in this one present moment, this now allows us to be centered, to acknowledge that the past isn't coming back. We can't live in the present if we're in the past. And if we're in the past, we're constantly looking at, all the things that have fucked us up. And it's just the wrong mindset, you know? So we have to acknowledge the present in order to even see the future. Right. And so balancing it is certainly a skill. It really is. But it's like anything, I would say. It's like, going to the gym. It's just all those reps add up, and some people aren't as far along as others, and that's okay. So I don't know about you, but sometimes I find like when I'm talking to some people, I can really see it. Oh, okay, like I get it. It's not that I'm better or you're worse. It's just we don't see the playing field the same, and that's okay, right? So understanding that we can be in the present while looking at the future is something that not everyone's going to get, and that's okay. It's
Right?
all okay. We're all just on our own fucking journeys, bro.
We all have our own journeys, right? And we talk about perspective and perception and even that, sometimes we don't know. But it leads me to another conversation that I had very briefly with somebody else. It was via text, so um, I'm hoping that we continue this carry on with this conversation. But um, you know, I mentioned, just trying to maintain my balance, man. That's all I'm doing, right? Because they were asking me, and they're like, "Oh man, I'm not." They mentioned like what was the specific task anyway, but they said, "Oh, balance is not really, my thing is harmony. I'm just trying to find harmony." And I'm like, "We should talk. We should talk because you can find harmony in chaos. Sometimes,
Sure.
we have our lives and there's so much going on, and then you're 60 and you're like, "What the fuck happened?" Why? Because you were capable of managing all of that chaos, perfect harmony. But then you're left for like, fuck, what did I do for me? Well, I'm still sick, or I didn't accomplish that. So, I wanted to really point that out. I'm like, like, yeah, harmony is important, right? But I mean, you can be in perfect harmony and be in jail or be in war, I mean, we can make them 240s talk, baby, in perfect harmony, but um that's still chaotic, and sometimes we get so good at what we do in the environment that we put ourselves in that we forget to take a look outside and be like, shit, you know like an avatar, and be like, oh fuck, that's how I'm doing things. Like, I should have done this, or
Yeah.
I should have done that, or what was I thinking, but yeah, I talk about balance, I talk about being selfish, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Just, every day we're out there trying to do something for somebody, trying to be the best example, trying to be a good member of society, be a good role model to our children or the kids around us. And it's not every day that someone comes up to you as an individual and says, "How are you doing?" You know, or do you stop and say, "How am I doing?" and pat yourself in the back for the good things you've done or for all the stuff you've endured. So when I mean balance, I mean, like, what, find time for yourself. You don't have to be around your hobby every weekend, like, those crazy fanatic football fanatics. And believe me, I was one of those. I was a diehard football fan, and every football season it was my savings season because I wouldn't do nothing. The family knew that we weren't going to do nothing for those 6 months, and that was like me, like, saying, hey, we're saving money, but really it was me just wanting us to do my stuff, right? And there was no balance those 6 months for my family. Like, they sacrificed their wants and needs for me those 6 months, and I was perceiving things and not really, having a different perspective. So, um balance also includes checking yourself and understanding, what are you taking from others, or are you not giving enough to your loved ones, or yourself? But yeah, balance, you got to break it down, every aspect of it, right? Health, emotion, education, you name it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And sometimes we don't even, I don't know about you, but like there were a lot of times when I was living very, very chaotically and I thought that I was okay. Right. Like I talk about these stories. I go to a veterans group for OEF veterans. And I would suggest it to anyone that's out there that's even considering it. It's even if it's even just popped in your head for a second. Um, I would say just jump off the ledge, man. Just do it. There's nothing bad that can come from sitting around like-minded individuals and talking about the same types of things. Because that's one thing I've learned too is like we all have pretty much the same stories with different details, you know? And but sometimes I'll say something that I didn't think was that big a deal. And even in a group full of killers, bro, like they're just looking at me like, what the fuck, man? Like, how are you living like that? And just okay. And and for me, I'm just like, oh, I'm used to it. It is what it is. Like, this is life, bro. And I'm in harmony. It maybe I could use a little balance more myself. Um, but I guess that goes back to what you were saying with checking in, right? Like checking in with ourselves, and because I'm happy as hell, man. Like just to be alive, like I'm happy. And so if I'm happy and it's a little chaotic and I'm cool inside, like that's balance to me, I guess. But I look at some of these guys and their faces just drop with, such amazement. They're like, how the hell do you do that, man? I don't know. I don't know if you if you get things like that when you're talking to people and just like,
It's that
going over an
tenacity
old
I
story.
have. It's whiskey, coffee, and hate.
Right.
That would have been my old self years ago. Yes, that's how I would have answered. Shut the front door. Whiskey, coffee, and hate.
Yeah.
Nut up. This motherfucking keep driving forward. I don't want to hear shit. Meanwhile, my knees are buckling, my back's hurting. I got headaches from working two freaking shifts, but
Yeah. And the story that no one can see, the other side of what's going on is the fight inside the head. Trying to fight with yourself, telling yourself, shut the fuck up, let's go. We got stuff to do, rah, rah, rah. And that part, that inner child, that younger part, the unhealed part, whatever it is going, I can't, I can't go no more, bro. Like we need to chill, you know? That happened to me a lot of internal conflict,
and
you know?
and I love that you touched on our internal, right, talk. We talk to ourselves a lot more than we would want to admit, right? It's what we do all day long, and challenge anyone to tell me that's otherwise. I mean, we do, right? And that self talk is crazy. If you allow yourself to fall into a groove where you're feeling down, you feel defeated, something's going wrong, it can snowball so quick. So and this is what I mean by like finding, a good structure, a good platform for your life, whatever it is that balances. Okay, when I'm feeling X, Y, and Z, what do I do when I get home? Before I get home, is there something? It could be rocking and rolling a radio karaoke so you can decompress before you step into the house and not bring in that negative energy from all day to your household. Do you go to the gym? Do you go running? Do you read? It's understanding, like don't bring this to a place that it shouldn't be, right? So what do you do in between to cut that shit out and change that? Well, it means you need to structure your life. You need to have a routine in your life where, you know, you can still get home to your family, for those that have a beautiful family to get home to, and not bring that, right? And whoever's out there that has amazing routines, has built their life on structure, feel free to join it and reach out to us. And we love to share more of those stories, because this is what it's all about, right? Like how do you keep driving forward? How do you maintain that discipline, that that hunger, right? To take care of your family, to do stuff for your family, But more importantly, right, you being the centerpiece and the number one, like, what do you do for yourself? How do you do it?
Yeah, for sure. And also I would say like when it comes to the self-talk and the negative self-talk, like it's really important to understand what's actually going on. Like, you know, your subconscious is running so much, all of ours is, and it accepts whatever you give it. Whatever. That's why doom scrolling is so fucking detrimental to the young male who's trying to, build anything, right? It's so detrimental because the subconscious will just take it in. It has no filter. You and I, we are the filter. Our logical mind is the filter to what's going on. And if we're the ones that are bypassing that filter by talking shit to ourselves internally, the subconscious is taking that in the entire time, and it's not going, oh, he's just kidding. He's being sarcastic. He's making a joke. No, it's going, oh, okay, yeah, I do want to kill myself. Yeah, I do hate where I'm at. Yeah, everything is fucking wrong with my life. Nothing is going to get better. And just like you said, before you know it, it fucking snowballs all the way down. And you're sitting in the pit going, how the fuck did I get here? More importantly, how do I get out? But the subconscious is already, that's why it takes time to build it back up. The subconscious is like, no, no, you told us you told me this is where we are. So this is where we're going to be. And I'm going to run all of these programs behind the scene that you have no control over to ensure that we get there and that we stay there because this is what you told me. Right. So it really does snowball. And that's how we just, we can really lose it quick. For, you know,
And it's it's not that hard to reprogram.
for real.
It's not that hard to reprogram. Guys, reach out to Jesse, reach out to me, reach out to others that know about, NLP, TLT, that kind of stuff, because it's it's not woohoo stuff. It's just a different way to present, how to really take care of yourself, right? And to change some of those thought patterns, instead of looking at something like a challenge, it's an opportunity. So if it's going to challenge you to grow, that means it's an opportunity to progress, right? It's an opportunity to shed some fear, shed some other aspects of maybe even just in your mind, doubt, right? So, okay, I'm not gonna say, being my stature and my height and weight and all my injuries, that I'm gonna go, conquer Mount Himalaya tomorrow, right? But guess what? I can say, you know what? In 2 years, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go do that in 2 years, and in 2 years, I'm gonna put in the work, right? Because it's baby steps, it's setting those foundational steps in place. But it starts with the mindset. Okay, well, tomorrow I can't, but I can in this time, right? Knowing who you are, whether that's a change in career, scaling your business, family, personal challenges, personal opportunities, personal relationships, that kind of stuff. It's understanding that there's always a way to bridge that gap. Always, you just got to find in yourself, find tools and resources out there that are gonna help you get there. Because the second you say no to yourself, your body believes it. Everything works off of frequency and energy. And believe me, you can say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I want to do that," but you know what? You're not lying to energy. You can say all you want, but it has to match your heart, what you feel, and it has to match what you think. You can't just say it to say it. Like, you have to, because that's, you can say, "Oh, I'm trying this, I'm trying that," but if you're not believing that you're gonna get there, if you're not structuring out a path forward to overcome and to succeed, that doubt's gonna keep bringing you down, because that's not gonna open up for you until you really start breaking down those obstacles that you have within yourself, right? So, break it down, break it down. You can achieve almost anything and everything you put your mind to, but you have to be realistic as well. Like, hey, I'm gonna be a millionaire overnight. No, I've been putting in work for years and years, and doing things, and I know I'm going to. I know I'm gonna be able to help and support others the way I want to, right? Because I don't see money as something to fulfill me. I see it as a tool and a resource to support my vision and how I want to do things, right? And so, 10 years ago, you asked me if I would be sitting down here doing the things I'm doing. Yeah, I thought about it. Didn't know it was going to happen this way. Didn't know it was going to be coming this way, or how it was going to happen. But I did know I was going to do it. Just didn't know how. But I did know I had to start with me, right? Getting educated, understand my strengths and my weaknesses, which I'm still working on. Understanding, once you understand that, okay, what's the plan to overcome and make it better, right? So one of my biggest things was communication. I was struggling. I got overseen and overlooked for positions when I was in the state of Washington to move up into a more senior role, right? And what was the hindrance? It was my communication. And so I said, okay, Aldo, what do you need to do? Instead of saying, oh yeah, whatever, or it's because I'm Chicano and I speak this way, or whatever excuse I could have came up with, I said no. So I started refining myself. I started educating myself, reading differently, reading with purpose, understanding where I needed to get better, articulate my thoughts differently, understand my emotional regulation as well. All of that. And I'm not there where I want to be, but it's helped me get to places where I knew I eventually wanted to get to, just didn't know how. But recognizing where I needed to work and focus on myself has allowed for that to happen. And it starts with the energy. Like, I got this. I got this. I can break it down. You know what? Today I'm gonna focus on grammar. Tomorrow I'm gonna focus on this. The next day I'm gonna focus on that. And so build that, put together those building blocks, and you're going to achieve anything you want to. You just got to truly believe it.
Yeah, bro. It really is about belief. You had said something. You said your heart has to match your brain, and that's so fucking true, dude. Brain heart coherence, brain heart coherence. Like when one is talking to the other, everything and anything is fucking possible, dude. And it all comes back to meditation. I always come back to fucking meditation, dude. When you can combine a thought with an elevated emotion, that elevated emotion is the energy that we're talking about. It's the higher, it's the connection, it's the thing that pushes it out into the universe. And here's where the wording starts to get a little woo woo, but that's okay. I mean, science is backing this up, right? So it's not really woo woo anymore. It's just something new coming into the conversation. And so when when you take these emotions and you can feel good about something that's going to happen, it goes right back to, not even just feel good, but when you can be actually grateful for something that hasn't happened yet. And that's through meditation, connecting the heart and the fucking mind. The subconscious, it did this whole thing ties in. The subconscious goes, okay, not only is that real, but I can feel it because I feel like I've been there. And when that happens, and it fucking will, as long as you're being true to yourself and opening your heart, it will happen. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow. It might take 30 days, but once it does, there's no denying it. Number one, you can't deny that it fucking happened, even though no one else can understand it because they weren't there. But something happens inside of you, and you just go, "Oh my god, I have no fucking idea about anything in this world. Who the fuck am I?" Right? Like so much happens, and you combine this elevated emotion with whatever thought you want. Like you said, being a millionaire. For me, it was to stop being dependent on chemicals outside of my body, on being dependent on the whole outside world in general. And then move to I want to be a father again. And then it was okay, now it's time to make some money. Now it's time to give back. Like each time it's these are the thoughts that I have combined with the gratitude that I'm already there. Like you said, without knowing how I'm going to get there, what it's actually going to be, just the general direction that I'm looking for, and letting the universe carve that path for me and working with it, right? Working with the energy to say, okay, this is it. And like you said, it's not, I don't know if I would say it's not hard. I would say that it's simple because it's certainly not fucking easy. And no one's saying it's easy, right? But it is simple. The process to get there is very simple, cut and dry, cookie cutter. Follow this template and you will end up over here exactly where you're looking for. And like you said, man, it might not be how you thought you'd get there. It might not be the avenue. It might not even be with the people that you thought were going to be there, but you will end up exactly where you want to be every time. That's why it's so
Exactly.
important how you fucking talk to yourself.
Yes, it's so important. Exactly. It's extremely important on what you say, how do you say it. Um, we talk about, having interactions with people out there, and, someone is honking a horn out in the street or cuts you off, flips you off, whatever, or someone in the grocery store cuts you off in line, just let them. You don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know what kind of life, and why would you engage with that? It's obviously they need a win. So just give them the win, and you're going to feel much better. You're going to see what that does for yourself if you stop and think about. If you usually are like, what the get out of my way. Nope, get back, or let me cut them off, let me honk back. Just process that and stop and think, and I guarantee you guys, if you start doing that, you're going to be like, where else do I do this kind of thing? Where else am I so quick to react? Think about
Yeah,
that. I tell folks, am I your master? Am I your owner? Like, is that how I make you feel? Can I do that to you? Make you get upset, make you get angry, you know, uh, make you do X, Y. Can I make you do stuff like that? Like, really, am I your owner? Am I your master? Because that sucks to live that way.
yeah.
'Cause then
And
I'm not the
also,
only one.
right. No, you're not, dude. I'm exactly the same way. We all are in at certain times within our life, right? And I would also say, like, pause for a second when someone cuts you off or does something like fucked up, you perceive to be fucked up. And maybe it is, who am I? I'm not there. But consider yourself doing that too, because we've all done shitty things, right? And how bad of a day we were having. Like for me, like how bad of a day was I having when I just cut someone off because fuck it, I gotta be where I gotta be. Like my life is clearly not going the way that I want to right now. There are all kinds of things. I'm covered in stress. Like the whole fucking world feels like it's on my back. So when I think of it like that, it's like, okay, like there's gotta be some empathy here. I have to feel for that person because I can understand them because I know I've been there, right? Like I've been in a fucking bad spot, just being a dick. And yeah, a good win, a small fucking win would have gone a long way, bro. So it's just, and then, I mean, you can get into the toaster theory too, right? Like there's just so many reasons. I guess what I'm saying is there's so many different reasons, and none single one is correct. Any of them could be. And that's the point here is that there's so many different reasons why someone could have done something. And if we immediately jump to the negative, that's just going to bring our energy down too. But if we jump to, a more understanding view of, yeah, they are having a hard day. Yeah, they do need a win. Hey, maybe I'm overlooking this or overthinking this. Or even, like I said, the toaster, like maybe this is the universe trying to stop me so that I don't end up somewhere I'm not supposed to be 10 minutes, you know, 10 decisions down the road, right? Like who knows? It may or may not be, but you have a choice to put that in because you'll never know unless you go up and talk to the person and say, "Hey, why were you a fucking asshole to me just now?" Unless you do that, you'll never actually know the truth, right? So you can put any reason in there. Why not put one that's more of a positive view for you?
Yeah, and you know what? Everyone has their own style, and everyone should totally embrace yourself, who you are. You don't have to walk around, being lovable, being, trying to hug people and high five and smile. I mean, you just do you, because, and I say this for this reason. A lot of us are going through a lot, and sometimes we get in ruts and life changing. You know, you can say, what's that, father time, or life crisis, or whatever you want to call it. There's all sorts of freaking, labels to anything nowadays. But at the core, it's we as humans, we're seeking purpose in life. We're seeking purpose, and so that's why we associate ourselves with the church or with the institution, right? Like the military or whatever the case may be. We want to, as humans, want to feel part of something, right? Because we're seeking purpose. And we always think so grandiose, like, oh, well, I can't do much, or there's nothing I can do to make a change or an impact. But when you start looking at things differently and how energy really impacts things and people and yourself, you are your own universe. And think about that, think about that, and think about what you want to create within your own universe, and then extend it outside to your physical realm here in this earth, where you're at in Maine and Las Vegas and Switzerland and Africa and Phoenix. And you may not be able to change the world, but you can impact your ecosystem directly within your reaching distance, right? And that's just with how you treat people. And it doesn't have to be, again, doesn't have to be being nice, being sweet, skipping, but you know, showing somebody what they didn't know, and it's just all delivery, right? Again, don't engage in negative, but asking questions is a great way to really break somebody's, like, you know thought patterns, or even their aggression, or they're sad. You don't know if they lost somebody, but that's one thing I do want to highlight. We walk around, sometimes we're down and out, and we get in this rut, like, oh man, it's just work, take care of business, pay bills, work, pay bills. Like, what about me? Or I can't get my family to do this, I can't do that. But you know what? Every little gesture you make, every word that comes out your mouth, how you deliver it, if it's in a positive way, it's going to go a long way, and you truly will make an impact, and you're going to start seeing it. You're going to start operating different, because it's not about changing the world, but it's changing the world for the people around you, right? How they encounter you, how they react to you, how they interact with you. And you could have had the fucking shittiest life ever, but the second you start seeing that, and you start seeing how you are treated, just by carrying a different mindset, that, you know what, I mean, it sucks that this happened to someone, or it sucks that this I had to go through this, but you know what? There's and as cliche as it sounds, there's a reason, right? There's a reason. What is that reason? That's on you. That's on you to figure that out. That's on you to figure it out every fucking day until you figure it out. So, I got my challenge. I'm still working through those, but as I'm getting better, I see how I've created those positive impacts with the people around me. And so I just wanted to share that, we walk around wanting to be, part of something, want to serve a purpose, and that purpose, especially as a veteran, or if you're still in, is service, right? You join because you wanted to serve, right? Something greater than yourself. So, figure that out. If you're out, figure that out. Do you have to do anything and everything with the veterans organization? No, there's so many organizations out there that can utilize your support, your expertise, your life experiences, serve a purpose. And that purpose is showing who you are to the rest of the community around you, the better
Yep,
version of yourself.
absolutely. And you never know who you're gonna touch, right? Like you never know how far that energy is gonna go. I mean, it's contagious, right? So when we are looking at the world in a different view, and maybe a little bit more elevated in our emotions, like that rubs off, and who knows how far that it rubs off to what person, and how far it goes into their orbit. And you just, some of the best things that we do for people are giving energy and never seeing the results of what that was.
Yeah, and I just wanted to touch on that, because I also had a conversation a few days ago about, like, people, and some people are just, they like to take advantage, they try to weasel stuff out of people, and, like that kind of stuff. And I said, well, like, standing up for yourself and setting your own boundaries across the board and anything and everything you do in life, that starts changing those around you as well, right? Like, again, you don't have to be loud, you don't have to be boisterous, you don't have to be demeaning. Just stand up for yourself, right? And ignore all the other noise, and those people will stop coming around. It's a filtration, right? So those people start coming around, and they can think whatever they think. They have their own challenges, they'll figure it out. But now see how you're changing your ecosystem, right? And now, if you got children, if you got friends, loved ones around you, that energy starts flowing in, and then you start getting some more protection of the negative auras, or the negative energy, right? But it does start with just how you meet every day, that you get an opportunity to make an impact. That's what I'm saying. As soon as you wake up, be grateful, because you have an opportunity to create and make an impact. And again, it's not about going out there and changing the world, but man, how you treat somebody, I want to, and again, I wanted to share that, because they were like, well, those are the that's how those people are. And I'm like, yeah, unless people stand up to them. And how do you stand up to them? Just be be that example of a good person in society. Just be that example. You don't have to go above and beyond. Just Love yourself enough to pour into in your own cup, to give yourself the best opportunity, and then you slowly will stop. You'll start ignoring those people. You'll start feeding
Yeah.
into those people, or giving them any in any way, shape, or form. It won't even be a thing after a while because you're just not paying no mind. So that kind of energy and negativity stays away. At first you're gonna have to fight it off just by learning how to be a better version of yourself, right? But I share that because again, we don't have to go out there trying to change everybody, but as long as we change ourselves, that's an impact. That's a huge impact.
All you can really do. Like, you
Yeah.
can't change anyone, you know?
Nope.
No, if someone's not even in the receiving area to hear it, like, you're not gonna change shit, you know? The only thing you can do is change yourself, and when you do that 100% of the time, your environment will change around you. The energy will raise. It is 100% stronger than negative energy, and so it's blocked, you know? And to a certain point, the negative energy just gets blocked. Only what you allow in, right? And yeah, man, I love that. You had said gratitude, and I look back and I'm very grateful for where I am today personally, where we are in this. And so I'm wondering, as the year closes out, like, what do you think? What do you think about the year that we've had so far? It's been a hell of a fucking ride, man.
You know, well, as we're coming to the end of 2025, it's our first episode of December, December 2nd. Something that started from a conversation between two men, two combat veterans, men that have been through a lot of stuff in their personal life, in the trenches together. Um, I am extremely grateful for us and this podcast. Because we've had a lot of amazing people. We have a buzz around it. It's continuing to grow, and more than anything, I appreciate the time I have with you, bro. Again, and we always talk about having battles, but um, be about it, me and Jesse, again, we started this just out of conversation. We just wanted to see if we can help others, and again, people are lining up. They're asking, to join and come on the podcast, and that's all we wanted to do. Just give people a platform to share their positive experiences, how they overcame challenges, and be a resource for anybody out there. And I'm grateful about that, man. And even just our conversations before we go and start recording, just this friendship that has continued to grow and develop and straighten. I'm extremely grateful. I've been really proud about this initiative, this project. Full Kit No Plan has been amazing. So it's a huge deal. It's brought me closer to the veteran community. To be completely honest, this year, um, it's opened a lot of doors. Even just my mano mano initiative in the blue collar industry, blue collar sector, with you know, um, something that started with a handful of people, 5, 6 people at a cigar bar, and filling up rooms with 70 plus people, all business owners, bringing in anywhere between 1 to 6 million a year, all in less than a year, and continue to grow my consulting firm, which is now as an advisory group, and I'm actually uh, just started another business. It's a development firm, lead generation company called the Blue Collar and Co. The Blue Collar Group and Co. So it's been tough. It's been a lot of work. There has been times where I only get 3 to 4 hours of sleep. Sometimes I can't get away from my phone. Um, you know, learning curve, right? You want to quit. You don't know what you're doing. Am I even doing the right stuff? But all in all, you know, um, it's been a great year. Challenges and all, it's been a great year. It's given me the opportunity to continue to grow, continue to look at myself and see what other areas I need to pay attention, and really just grateful for all the relationships that I've created this year, the right relationships, and getting away from it was a tough year last year, tough year before that, and um seeing things a little different, managing um you know how I perceive things, understanding, emotionally regulating myself. That's a huge one. Really looking deep within myself. I learned to do that and be vulnerable this year. Some that I just I was a hard ass, no way. But this year for me, it was all about, exposing my real self, and that's just a goofy freaking dude that likes to have fun and help people. And man, here we are, bro. I love it.
Yeah,
It's been good.
I love it, man. I love it. I feel the same way, dude. I've had a lot of fun doing this. Like it's brought parts of me back to life that I didn't think were there, you know. Um, because it did. It started as a conversation. And I mean, you were there, bro. I was feeling it, but I wasn't sure in the beginning, dude. But now I can't picture doing, many other things uh with this time that we have together. I really think that it's been a lot of fun. Um, I'm amazed to see how it started taking off so quick, and all the guests that came in, dude. Like I love listening to their stories. I absolutely love hearing other people's stories, where they came from, what happened, how they got back, like all of it, dude. And so it's just I really look forward to doing this, and yeah, same with the year. It's been a lot of having to be vulnerable with myself. Putting myself on camera was one of the rough things for me. Um, but overcoming that, and just really pushing through, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it's led to so much, within my personal life, within my family life, with our relationship has grown and strengthened. And that's something you don't hear much of with two people that have been to war, because that's pretty much like the strongest bond you can get. So to be able to do that and then still do this and keep growing has been fucking amazing, dude. It's been
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I'm very excited for what 2026 has in store.
Yeah, and you know what we did? We had a amazing group of veterans join us from Army to Navy to Air Force, um, you name it. eh, Learning from everybody having their own experiences in life, how they dealt with it, how they've overcome, how they've been succeeding. And one thing that binds us all together, the conduit amongst all of the guests we've had and the ones that are coming, is the fact that we all want to continue to serve. We all were lost at some point trying to figure it out, right? And that transition is tough, and some folks take years. Some folks never even find it. So, being able to have these folks join us, share their stories, share it with you guys, um, it does show that, there's a lot of good out there. There's a lot of people that share your struggles, that can relate with you, that speak the same language, same profanities, can dog each other out, can take it, but they're still, good good members of society, leaving a good impact in society, and people that we want to continue to learn from. You're right. So, those are the kind of folks we're going to continue to have on this show, because when we started this, it wasn't going to be about crying and boo-hoo and, my life sucks. No, it's all about, how can we continue to grow, right? And success isn't measured by finances or money. It's measured by how you're feeling up here and here. And so this is really what sets the foundation for this show, because that's one thing that Jesse and I share, and it's loving yourself and being grateful for the opportunities that we have every day, and just giving back. And no one's perfect. Shit, sometimes I get pissed off and I just I'm not gonna say nothing right now. Other times, like before, I'd be like, what what the fuck just happened? No, get so and so on the phone. We gotta fix this now. Nope, now okay. Now I take a step back, listen to everything. Okay, all right. No more emotion from me, because I can't control it. Can't control it. Can't control other people's actions, reactions. I can't. I could just listen and see how I am useful, how I can be used, or offer my services, expertise, whatever in that scenario, in that case, and then just either move forward and assist, or let it slide out and move forward, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. Um, Yeah, so you touched on some you dropped a few hints there. You said something about some guests coming on. We got
Yes.
some things coming up maybe.
Yes. So, and you know what? You know, me and Jesse been working hard behind the scenes, and we got our roles and responsibilities. You know, and so as this podcast continues to gain momentum and growth, we're going to be rolling out our 2026 initiative and our rebranding, a full kit no plan. So we're gonna have a landing page for you guys to join. Jump in there, take a look at you know the most recent podcasts or some of the best podcasts of the year, that kind of stuff. Get a few glimpses of it, you know, redirect it to your our page. Most importantly, we're gonna have resources, right, for veteran communities, veteran organizations that are there to support you at a regional level, national level, you know, as well as you know, links for you to subscribe and you know, join us on the podcast. You know, streamline it, make it easy. You know, it'll have a questionnaire all set up for you guys to come in and be like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I do, and this is where I'm from. I want to be on the podcast, so we're gonna make it easier for you guys to just jump in, get access to it, see the calendar, see when we shoot, you know, plug in the preferred dates, and then Jesse and myself will follow up and get you onboarded and go from there. But we're gonna systemize this. We're going to facilitate and automate this as well. And so we're looking forward to showing you guys what's coming for 2026. And it's big news, you know.
Hell yeah, I love it, dude. Like I said, I'm very excited. It's gonna be fun. You said automation. Does that have anything to do with AI?
Oh
Give me
man,
some.
dude, I leave AI to you, bro. I leave AI to you, man.
Dude, well, speaking of it, let me ask you: have you seen any of these nano banana pictures?
Yes, actually, yes.
Yeah,
What
dude,
the
they're
heck's going on?
wild, dude. I saw one the other day that passed the clock and the wine test in the same photo. Like, I mean, the clock is flawless. The wine glass, flawless, dude. It is unbelievable the leaps and bounds that these models are jumping to.
And so, you know, we had a conversation on a podcast once a few months ago, and I have to come and say, hey, uh, you know, I was talking about 5, 10 years in construction with AI, and here I am conceding, saying, bro, you were right. I mean, I work in the industry, so I see it, and I'm like thinking, no, they can't do this. They can only do X, or they can only, you know, fit in here. They can only fit in there. Um, But with my new company, the BCG, the Blue Collar Group and Co., our 2026 agenda is going to be hyper focused on traveling nationwide and visiting AI conferences, whether they're corporate health conferences, R&D, university, that kind of stuff, because we want to really get a foothold on the best way to incorporate AI across the board in our business. And regardless, it being a construction industry sector business, um, AI is freaking crazy. So,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, like,
It doesn't matter the industry, dude. And that's what I've been trying to tell people is AI is now part of life. So it covers every industry because it's not just industry. It covers from what we eat to what how we get places to how we're even, you know, ingesting information in general. Right. And so this is here to stay, bro. It's not going anywhere anytime soon until we decide that we no longer need electricity. What do you got there?
oh, it's a little clip for social media. What we do
Yeah,
behind the scenes.
I know if you're trying to show something, if you had something that you're showing,
Okay, actually, I do want to say something. Um, so I joke around. I joke around with my personal experience about, and this has to do with AI, right, or
yeah,
robotics, and um, you know, and for those that have been around, I had a couple relationship bumps, and so anyway, I said, no more. I'm not dating here in the United States. Hell no. I'm gonna be a passport. I'm gonna be a passport, bro. I'm gonna get me a out of country girlfriend, wife. Today, I might revoke the passport bro idea. Cause I seen the new AI robot girlfriends.
Oh yeah, bro. Those are here. I mean, those things are pre-ordered like Tesla trucks in
Call me crazy,
2019.
but I'm like, wow.
Right. And that, dude, I was listening to someone talk about that, and it's like it almost just stunts and stops human evolution, dude. Because I mean, you're integrating more and more, not you personally, but the idea, because there are people out there that are really considering this, right? And like it completely ends the biological idea of humans. Like where do we go if all the men are tired of dealing with women and just get a robot? Like, what do we do? Like, there's no, we're integrating with machines so rapidly, dude. It's gonna be, I think in 10 years, it's not gonna be what systems are in place with which AIs and all of that. It's going to be the full, you know, symbiosis of machine and human living together. Like that's really just connected, dude. Like that's really where we're headed, unless something happens. But I will say, and this is with AI, kind of in a different direction. But I saw this the other day. This $300 billion Oracle deal with OpenAI. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay, so Oracle and I'm gonna botch this, but here's the overview. Basically, is that Oracle and OpenAI had this $300 billion uh AI deal, basically for them to build the servers or whatever, or to build the warehouses to run ChatGPT and all the other things that OpenAI is doing, like Sora, which we'll talk about that in a second too. But um really, in 24 hours, 48 hours, some very small amount of time, this $300 billion deal went from that valuation to negative $70 billion in like 2 days. Yeah,
Why?
just
What happened? Like, what?
drove off a cliff. I don't know. I don't actually know why it did that. Um, I just know that it did, and that speaks volumes. Like that type of that type of driving off a cliff is like very reminiscent of the dot-com bubble, just on fucking steroids, right? Like it's like the dot-com bubble times 1,000.
They dump like they dump shares, stock, like
The
finances.
valuation of it just it be I'm guessing because of the amount of time it was going to take to build the systems and where they would actually need to be in those 3 to 5 years, the valuation just went completely upside down.
They probably got wind of another system, right?
Yeah. Right. I mean, well, sure, because they have to be working on the actual hardware, right? Like here's the problem. Here's the problem with American AI. We don't have the infrastructure, like at all. I mean, we have these coaxial cables and these, very old cable systems that we're trying to push all of like this amount of fucking data through a hole this big. Right. And so we just can't match. Meanwhile, places like China have spent the last 20 years building their infrastructure. Like that's where all their money, labor, and manpower go to, is building this infrastructure in anticipation of the AI gods coming down and greeting us. And now we're here and we didn't do that. Right. Like America did not do that. You have a crumbling infrastructure that is incapable of even matching, not exceeding, but even matching some of these other countries. And so what do we do now? Because now we're talking about 20 years worth of infrastructure improvements. And where is the technology going to be in 20 years when it's doing what it's doing, hand over fist, month in, month out, right? Have you seen Sora? Have you played with Sora 2 at all?
Yeah, yeah, I used it a couple times like a few months ago, so I can just imagine its new updates now.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it's wild. It's It really is wild. And then you get people like these kids that are using these different AI models, because Sora's not the only one. It's just, packaged well for the common consumer. But the underlying parts of it, I mean, a lot of these guys are making like fake OF models, right? And generating hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. Yeah. And you can't tell the difference, right? Like it blows my mind, man, when I start thinking of like all the different ways that this is really coming into to taking over our lives. The reality is 90 to 95% of people have AI in their daily life every single day and don't even know it. They don't even
Don't
know
have
that
it.
it's being operated. They're still
Yep.
they're still trying to catch up with what ChatGPT really is. I mean, and I say that because there are people that are using it like it's Google,
Yep.
right? Like
Yep.
you have
You
a
can
fucking
create,
Ferrari
dude. Yes, exactly. Yeah,
and you're using
exactly.
it to go get groceries at the corner store,
Yep. Like,
So it's like it's just a lot, bro. It's a
but
lot going on.
talking about that, right? Yeah, because my brother-in-law, he works for this defense contractor, and they do like they just
Android,
rolled
right?
out like, yes, they just rolled out this amazing freaking jet AI
Yeah.
AI outfit. And
Yeah,
so
I
now,
saw
like,
Lucky Palmer on the Joe Rogan Experience talking
yeah,
about it. How did you see that one?
no, no, I got to check it out.
Dude, not to cut you off, but like they were because he touched on that, but he hadn't really said too much about it. But what he did show was the next gen like Battle Force tracker that's integrated into the helmet system, all of this stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about? Dude,
Yeah,
this
I was
is
with my
wild.
brother-in-law this weekend, and he's like, "I can't really say much, but check this out." And I'm like, "That
Dude, it's wild. Tracks the enemy behind walls, right? takes takes the entire computer and battery system and makes it a fucking sappy plate, bro. So the whole computer system is actually a fucking bulletproof computer system that's now your sappy plate. Probably the back because it's less. What Lucky Palmer was saying was that the back is less likely to get shot. So that goes in the back, and then just a regular sappy goes in the front. But he was showing the glasses and how it connects. And dude, when I think back to like our BFTs in the trucks and like seeing these on the soldier today and what they actually do, it's wild, man.
dude, my brother was showing me, and it's like, okay, so like he's got this system, right? And he sees somebody, and they go behind this like container. They can still see it. Then they're pointing, they're clicking, they're sending all these without doing hand signals, anything. Just boom, boom, boom. So then these guys flank, come around, right? They see him. Now he can see him because now they're seeing him,
Right.
right? Dead on. They're seeing him dead on. And
An
so
entire
he
hive
can see
mind.
him now because like the system's all connected.
Right.
Uh, like that's freaking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
dude, that guy saw
amazing.
some badass stuff.
It's amazing. Like I was listening to a lot of the stuff that he was saying about the different things that they're doing. And it's like they're just because the the co-founder of Andro is the original creator of Oculus.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. And
yeah,
politics got in the way.
right, right. Yeah, just a little bit for sure.
Yep, yep. For those that
Uh,
know.
uh, but now he's got the money, so it's taking a very different and dramatic change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw those jets too. They have like two or three mini ones that like fold up and just like take off vertically.
Dude, I've been in their I've been in their what I call a Tony Stark's freaking warehouse. Dude, it's I mean, I couldn't take videos, but it was awesome. I mean,
Oh, I
just
bet.
watching all that stuff. Yeah,
I
dude.
bet. Yeah, yeah, that was really cool to see.
I can't ask questions because, like, you know how it is with those people that like to like think and know. So we ask certain questions, and all I get is, I can't answer that.
Right, right. Yeah, because you're asking the right questions, bro. You already have an inside track for sure.
Dude, but talking about all of this, right? Um, Crypto, digital, finance, all of that stuff. Guys, I don't know nothing. Somebody out there, that has a good background, does this stuff, jump in, reach out to us at volcanoplan@gmail.com. What's going
Yeah,
on,
we'd
dude?
love to get you
Do you
on.
know anything? Because that is crazy. I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know what I should do. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. But I'm hearing that, they're gonna, purposely crash the dollar and inflate and all sorts of stuff. And I don't know what to believe, what to do. I just know, yeah, groceries are hella expensive. Things are crazy expensive. Um, and I just, yeah, that's one thing that I need to really pay attention to.
Yeah,
But
dude, I don't even know where to
like, did we miss
begin.
the boat on something when it comes to crypto? Like, did we already miss like, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know,
I mean, to be a player in that game, like, yeah, you're talking,
we're like 10 years behind, huh?
yeah, yeah,
I mean, retail at a minimum, retail 10 years behind.
sure, yeah. Um,
So what
I
does
don't know.
that do, right? Like when they
Technology,
tokenize stuff, like, like if I bank with Navy Federal, like, okay, so instead of having $1,000, I'm gonna have one coin, like, or how does that work? How is it gonna be broken down? Uh, my liquidity now is that gonna eviscerate? Like, is it gonna be like, how does that work?
dude, you're asking all the right questions. You really are, and I don't even think that I have enough understanding to even answer it, dude. I really don't know how this shakes out. I think that it probably continues to drop a little bit more. The CBDCs are real. Like that's a real initiative. The central bank digital currencies. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't they? We already have digital currency in the form of credit card, debit card, all of that. Like there's no real cash behind it. And then you look at gold and silver and their prices. I mean, gold has what over the last 20 years has doubled the S&P 500, you know, dollar for dollar, pound for pound. So what does that say, right? Like there's just
Is it
there's
gonna
a
be
lot.
like a global thing? Is it gonna be like a national thing? Like how does that work? I mean, because people talk about gloom and doom, and it is what it is. You know what? We're living in this time and in this era. Just figure out how to deal with it, right? Like figure out how to navigate through it. I mean, because I mean, it is what it is. I mean, end of time, whatever you want to call it, control the mark of the beast. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying stuff, right? But it is what it is. So at least educating ourselves on how to best utilize this and not going in blind and just being told this is how it's going to be. That's it. I mean, because it is, right? But there's still, it's just like trust. It's just like taxes, right? There's always way to work that system. So I guess that's where I'm at, like trying to understand how the system's going to look like, and then not necessarily work the system, but understanding enough to navigate through the system. So I'm not completely pigeonholed to just doing what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to do it. They could talk about control. They're gonna check anytime you make a $5,000. Well, you know what? I'm not doing nothing. Whatever. Check my stuff. I paid a car or I bought something, right? Not that I make those kind of purchases, normally, but you know what I'm saying? Like people talk about that stuff. Like now they're gonna see. I mean, they do. It's called a bank account. They're better. They're better at checking your, doing your books and managing your books than we are, right? They
Yeah,
already know. So it's not about that, but understanding it. Like, okay, should I go invest in a peso or in a yen or something? Like that's what I mean. Like, like how's that gonna affect me before the dollar really tanks? If it does tank, how much time do I have? That's where I'm like trying to figure out, can I put in like $200, $500 somewhere and give myself a fighting chance there, so my $200, $500 now are worth the same 6 months from now when it might not.
sure, sure. And I think the days of $200 exploding into a million are over for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
So really, I mean, it's just like gold, right? Like you dollar cost average it into stable things like Bitcoin. Um, I mean, that's the grandfather. That's That's what everything is built off of to an extent, right? Like, I mean, even the things that aren't built directly off of it are built in a different way because of Bitcoin, right? They need to serve a different purpose, whether it's cross-border payments for, like XRP, or, dealing with banks in general, making, um, private money transactions, like some of them do, and it's really just, I mean, and who has the time? Who has the time to look at all of that stuff, and it's changing so quick, and
And
really,
then
yeah,
getting the information, are you getting the right information?
right, right, and
You know?
exactly, because there are many people out there, these influencers, right, that are being paid money to make videos on whatever coin or technology is coming out, and they're all rug pulls. They're 90% rug pulls. You're going to either get all your money stolen, or you're not, and it's 99 to 1. you know and how much. But you had said something about like the dollar collapsing, and that's interesting because first off, does the dollar collapse? I mean, of course it does. If you look at the United States compared to the Roman Empire, like, we're in the end stages. We got here a lot quicker than they did, but we are it's curtain call coming pretty soon. And until until we lose power from our currency, right? Like, we just use our currency to bully everyone. That's it. It's not backed by shit. It's backed by promises that are just rolled over and remortgaged every 30, 50 years, right? So fuck, man. I don't know. When you start talking about stuff like that, I used to try to keep up, and I just can't anymore. There's just too many things going on.
And you know what? That's gonna be heavy on our next episode because there is a lot of changes here in the United States where we live in. There's a lot of changes happening, between the banking systems. Right now, the Fed talking about dropping or cutting interest rates. How that's gonna affect people out there that have mortgages looking to refi, looking to get a loan. I mean, it's the reality is like these decisions being made, these huge, big changes being made nationally or across the world do affect us, right? You're getting if you're receiving some kind of disability payments, right? Is it going to affect you? How's that going to affect you, right? If you get a 10% rating or a 100% rating, like how is that going to look like? Or is it just going to be one token, or is it going to be a specific bank? Now you got to, apply for and an account with. I mean, how does that look like? So, we're gonna do a little bit of homework. We'll see what we do, and we're probably gonna touch base on this crypto situation as well in our next episode. Um, I just wanted to touch base real quick before I forget as we're wrapping this up. Um, December 13th is going to be Wreaths Across America. So if you have time to donate some time and be a volunteer at a nearby cemetery, make sure you guys reach out to Wreaths Across America. And, you can locate, cemeteries and organizations that are going to be, laying wreaths at our local veterans cemeteries. And so, I challenge you guys out there to do that. I'm taking my daughter to do that here. I still gotta locate a place, but that's December 13th. So remember, just go to wreathsacrossamerica.com and or .org, and you'll be able to support. So it's a great time to give back, great time to be with family. Include your family. Go do that, or go be a good just again give back, do some service, and you'll see that it goes a long way.
For sure. Reach across America, right? That's an hour north of me, right from the great
There
state of
you,
Maine, baby.
there you go, bro. There you go.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing the trucks as they take off. It's a good time.
Yeah, no, we've been doing that since my daughter was young. Obviously now for me and my daughter, it's not the same, it's not a family thing, but her mother still does her best to take her. She did it last year. I'm doing it this year. And we just want to continue that tradition for her. Understand, regardless of how you feel about the military and the service, it's about the bond that you create with men and women out there. So, This is how me and Jesse continued our relationship and are trying to give back and do our service, giving back to the community. And it's something that your children will not forget, if you instill a good foundation with them. And it starts with, giving back. So, again, I'm going to continue that again. It wasn't where my mind was at a few years ago. Right. But it is something that I hold dear, so I was part of, and I'm grateful that I didn't let myself get too much into my head where I let all my challenges overcome or sour how I feel. So I'm grateful that I'm able to do that with my daughter and give back and show some support. So again, and if it's not that, do something to end the year because again, it's all about giving. This time of year is about giving, and remember, it's not about giving money. Time is the most precious thing out there, guys. Right, bro? Time is the most precious thing out there. So you can't pay any amounts of money to get 2 minutes of your life back. So make sure you pay high attention to that in anything and everything you do.
When it's gone, baby. Spend it wisely.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah,
Take
buddy. Well, hey, for me, that's a wrap on mine. I'm gonna let my boy give his piece, say his shout outs.
That's it, my man. That's it. That was a good spot to end it on. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Hey, you guys take it easy, come prepared. Remember, reach out, YouTube, Full Kit No Plan. Or if you guys want to join the podcast, reach out to fullkitnoplan@gmail.com. We'll be seeing you guys soon. Can't wait to talk to you guys again.
Ooh, that's a wrap.